Welcome to the Master Physics online classes. So students, today we are going to discuss about the one of the most important and crucial topic of your class 10th, which is quite important as per the board examination purpose and NTSE purpose. This particular chapter is divided into few different lecture which comprising of different topics. Today we'll discuss about the introduction of this chapter, and the chapter name is light. In this chapter we will discuss about what is all about light is, what kind of object we are going to discuss, and the different kinds of images. Apart from that, the major important topics of this lecture would be reflection of light, types of reflection, reflection through plane mirror, and laws of reflection. So by using all these four topics, we'll discuss sequence wise one by one. So starting with the introduction of this chapter, first of all, what the light is. So light is a form of energy, just like we are having different kinds of energy like heat energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy. In the similar way, we are having another form of energy that is called light energy, which gives us the sensation of vision. That means without light, we will not be able to see any object. That means if you can imagine, if we are sitting in a room and that room is not available with the light and there is dark outside in the room, outside of the room, so in that case we will not be able to see any of the object. That means अगर कहीं पर भी लाइट नहीं है या अंधेरा है तो हम उसको देख नहीं सकते. So the major thing is कि अगर लाइट नहीं है तो हम देख नहीं सकते. That means to see, to gives us the sensation of vision, light is important. Another thing, there are two different kinds of source of light. So these are two kinds of source. The first one is luminous source. Luminous source, that means the object that can emit their own light. ऐसे ऑब्जेक्ट जो खुद की लाइट एमिट करते हैं उनको ल्यूमिनस सोर्स कहा जाता है. And whereas the non-luminous source, these are those sources that do not emit their own light. ऐसे sources जो अपनी light emit नहीं करते और दूसरे के कारण की वजह से हमको दिखाई देते हैं, ऐसे sources non-luminous source कहलाते हैं. Here we are having a set of figures with us. It comprises of 6 different figures: candle, rabbit, sun, earth, apple and torch. Here we can discriminate the luminous and non-luminous source in a separate manner. First of all, if I'm going to discuss about the luminous source, I'm having candle, I'm having sun and I'm having torch. These are non-luminous luminous source, whereas apple, earth and rabbit, these 3 would be the non-luminous source. I hope this is clear to you. The second thing, if I'm talking about the images, so my dear students, we are having 2 different types of images. The first one is real image. Real image that can be obtained on screen. ऐसी images जिसको हम screen पर obtain कर सकते हैं, such kind of image is called real image. If I'm talking about the example of real image, we are having image that can be obtained by the projector on screen, just like we see on a cinema hall. When we go to watch a movie, the image which is formed on the screen, that is called real image. Whereas the second kind of image is called virtual image. Such kind of images that cannot be obtained on screen. For example, the images formed by the plane mirror. As you can see even in the diagram, अगर हम किसी प्लेन मिरर के सामने, किसी आईने के सामने अगर हम खड़े हो जाते हैं और जो इमेज हमको हमारी दिखाई देती है, ऐसी इमेज वर्चुअल इमेज कहलाती है. Okay, heading towards the major topic of this particular chapter, that is called reflection of light. So if I'm talking about the definition of reflection of light, it gives the very basic definition or the simplest definition, I would say. So the bouncing back of light after striking on a surface is called reflection of light. लाइट टकराने के बाद किसी सरफेस से अगर वापस आती है तो उसको हम रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ लाइट कहते हैं. यानी कि जब हम किसी रूम में बैठे हैं या कहीं हम बाहर हैं तो किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट पर लाइट आकर अगर हमारी आंखों तक पहुंचती है तो हम उस ऑब्जेक्ट को देख पाते हैं. and this is why we are able to see any of the object because of this phenomena that is called reflection of light. If I'm heading towards the proceeding in this chapter, we need to discuss about the very few basic definitions, and these are, the first one is incident ray. Incident rays are those rays that strikes on a surface. That means if the light ray is coming from any of the luminous source that is striking on a surface, that particular ray will be known as incident ray. Second is reflected ray. If the light ray that goes back after striking on the surface, when the light ray strikes on the surface and reflects back, that particular ray is called reflected ray. किसी भी surface से light अगर आके टकराएगी, उसको हम reflected ray कहेंगे. Third is normal. एक ऐसी imaginary line जो कि किसी surface से perpendicular बना है, that means an imaginary line which is perpendicular to the reflecting surface is called normal. Third is angle of incidence. Angle of incidence is the angle formed between incident ray and normal. I would like to draw your attention towards this. It is the angle formed between incident ray and normal. Next is angle of reflection. Angle formed between reflected ray and normal. So these are the 4-5 definitions in front of you, which is important to us because for the further discussion we are required these 5 terms. So to understand this, if I'm having a plane mirror with us, first of all we need to understand if I'm having a surface with me and that particular surface is glass, and if I'm going to draw such spikes at one of the side of the surface, that is called polish. So to convert a glass into a plane mirror, it is required to polish the surface by using silver dioxide, and the either side of the reflecting surface will be the reflecting surface, and the reflection phenomena will be taken from this particular surface. So if the light ray is coming and incidenting on the surface, that ray where the arrow is being made by me now, that is called incident ray. And after striking on the surface, the light ray goes back. This ray is called reflected ray. And here is the normal which is perpendicular to the surface. I would like to tell you that the infinite number of normal can be drawn on a surface. That means हम कितने भी normal बना सकते हैं क्योंकि एक imaginary line है. From here, the angle found between incident ray and normal, that is called angle of incidence. Whereas the angle found between reflected ray and normal is called angle of reflection. So the definition that we have discussed just now, that you can see in this particular diagram, और आपको समझने में आसानी होगी, like what are the incident ray, reflected ray, normal, angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So types of reflection would be the next topic. So there are 2 kinds. The first one is regular reflection. Regular reflection, that means if the parallel incident rays are striking on the surface and after reflection they are reflecting back in the same medium in the parallel manner, such kind of reflection is called regular reflection, and that can only be obtained by using plane mirror. According to this diagram, figure A is the regular reflection where all the parallel rays which is coming on and striking on the surface, so all the incident rays after striking going in the same medium, that is called reflected ray. This first diagram is for regular reflection. Talking about the second one, that is called irregular reflection, which suggests if the rays are coming parallel and after striking on the surface they are moving in the random direction, that is called irregular reflection, and figure B suggests very precisely about the irregular reflection. If I am going to discuss about the reflection through plane mirror, so in what manner the plane mirror reflection phenomena will take place. So the first point says the reflection of light obeys laws of reflection of light. That means ये reflection के जो law होते हैं उनके according ही काम करेंगे. So we need to understand what are the laws of reflection that we are going to discuss in the upcoming slide. हम आने वाली कुछ slides में उसको discuss करने वाले हैं. Second thing is, imagine we are having angle theta between two plane mirrors. हमने मान लिया कि दो plane mirror को इस तरह से arrange किया गया like they are forming an angle. उस एंगल का नाम हमने थीटा रखा है. तो कितनी इमेजेस हम लोग बना सकते हैं? हाउ मेनी इमेजेस और द नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस कैन बी फॉर्म्ड इफ द ऑब्जेक्ट इज प्लेस्ड in front of two plane mirrors if they are inclined at angle theta. So the first one is, if n is equal to 360 by theta, if n equal to 360 by theta and that number comes out to be odd, अगर ये odd आता है तो number of images will be considered as n, but in that case the object should be plane asymmetrically. That means वो किसी एक प्लेन मिरर के पास में और एक प्लेन मिरर से दूर कुछ इस तरह से उसको अरेंज करेंगे, देन द नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस विल बी n. Whereas if n equal to 360 by theta is odd and the number of images in that case will be n minus 1, but the object should be placed symmetrically. That means at the similar distance from both the plane mirrors, दोनों ही प्लेन मिरर से बराबर दूरी पर अगर रखे गए और n की वैल्यू ऑड आती है तो नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस n माइनस 1 कंसिडर की जाएगी. एंड द थर्ड थिंग इज, इफ n इज इक्वल टू 360 बाय थीटा इज इवन, हमने माना कि n की वैल्यू 360 बाय थीटा अगर ये इवन नंबर देती है, देन द नंबर ऑफ इमेजेस फॉर्म विल बी n माइनस 1. According to this diagram, we are having two plane mirror which are inclined at 90 degree. They are kept perpendicular, they are having angle of, and they are forming right angle and object is placed in between. Then you can see the number of images are 3. That means if n is equal to 360 by 90, then n is equal to 4. The number of images will be n minus 1. So according to that, n minus 1, this will be 4 minus 1, that is equal to 3. We are having one note with us, and that note is, if two plane mirrors are kept parallelly, if two plane mirrors are kept parallelly and the object is standing or kept in between, then the number of images will be infinite. Why so? Because the angle formed between both the plane mirrors will be 0 degree. So according to n equal to 360 by 0, this will become infinite. So infinite number of images can be formed that you usually see when you are going to a saloon. हम सलून में ऐसा देखते हैं कि सामने की तरफ एक प्लेन मिरर और पीछे की तरफ एक प्लेन मिरर रहता है और काफ़ी सारी इमेजेस हमको वहाँ दिखाई देती हैं. Talking about the laws of reflection जिसकी हम बात कर रहे थे. So there are two laws of the reflection, and the first law of reflection suggests, we are having one diagram with us where theta 1 and theta 2 are the angle of incidence and angle of reflection respectively. One incident ray on the left side, reflected ray on the right side, and normal we are having in between, which is mentioned by the dotted line. So according to the first law of reflection, which suggests incident ray, reflected ray and normal all lie on the same plane at the point of incidence. That means incident ray, reflected ray and normal, they will lie on the same plane. In that case on the plane mirror. ये तीनों लाइन एक ही प्लेन पर लाई करेंगी और वो सरफेस इस डायग्राम के हिसाब से प्लेन मिरर है. At the point of incidence where all the 3 points are meeting. Here is that point where all the 3 lines are meeting at that particular point. According to the second law of reflection, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. That means angle I is equal to angle R, or according to this diagram we are having theta 1 is equal to theta 2. Okay, let us try to understand by solving one or two numerical. So we are having the first question with us. So question is, what will be the angle of reflection if the angle of incidence is 60 degree? According to the second law of reflection, we know that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. So we are given with angle I is equal to 60 degree and angle I is equal to angle R, and hence the answer is angle R is equal to 60 degree. Now the question takes a twist and the question may be asked would be like, what is the angle of reflection if the angle between incident ray and mirror is 55 degree? This question can be framed by using what will be the angle of reflection or incidence if the angle between reflected ray and mirror is 55 degree. So vice versa is also true. If they are asking about the angle of reflection, they can ask you about the angle of incidence, and in spite of incident ray they will write it as reflected ray. So we are having one thing, that is the plane mirror. We are having plane mirror with us and incident ray is coming, and this is the reflected ray and this is normal. And according to this question, they are saying if the angle between incident ray and mirror is 55 degree. So this angle is given as 55, but angle of incidence says the angle found between incident ray and normal. So we don't know this particular angle, which is angle I. This is our requirement. So in that case, we know the perpendicular forms 90 degree with the surface. So according to that, we can say that 55 degree plus angle of incidence is equal to 90 degree. So angle I is equal to 90 minus 55, and this will give you a value that is called 35. So 35 is the angle of incidence in this case. So we are given with angle I is equal to 35 degree, and according to the second law of reflection, angle I is equal to angle R, and hence angle R is equal to 35. So the question framed in this manner also. Thank you dear students. Don't forget to subscribe my channel Master Physics.